Good evening, welcome to Bizworld. The Malaysian economy expanded by 4.3% last year, compared with 4.7% achieved in 2018. The country's economy grew by 3.6% in the fourth quarter, and the lowest since the third quarter of 2009, compared with 4.7% recorded in the same period in 2018.
Growth in the fourth quarter was driven by higher private sector spending, both by households and businesses. Private sector spending grew by 7.4% in the fourth quarter, compared to 5.4% in the third quarter of 2019.
For the period under review, private consumption grew strongly by 8.1%, while private investment registered a higher growth of 4.2%. Core inflation stood at 1.4%. Datuk Nur Shamsiah added going into 2020, growth, particularly in the first quarter of the year, will be affected by the COVID-19 outbreak. The overall impact of the virus on the country's economy will, however, depend on the duration and spread of the outbreak as well as policy responses by authorities. Meanwhile, Bank Negara said there is ample room to adjust the overnight policy rate OPR to face any challenges in the economy.
We have ample room. Inflation is still low. Like I said, monetary policy is determined collectively by the Monetary Policy Committee. So I shouldn't preempt the Monetary Policy Committee. But our inflation is still low, and so we do have that policy space.
All information.
Last month, BNM decided to trim the OPR by 25 basis points to 2.75%, the lowest in 9 years. It was last cut to 3% from 3.25% in May of last year. The MPC meets 6 times in a year, and the next meeting is scheduled to take place on March 3rd, 2020. In the meantime, RAM Ratings said that the length and severity of the COVID-19 will determine its impact on Malaysia's economic growth in this year. It is understood that the rating agency has maintained its forecast this year at a cautiously optimistic 4.5% despite notable downside risks. It added the rapid spread of COVID-19 and its impact on discretionary services and industries such as tourism, retail and F&B may dampen the services sector, which is the largest sectoral component of GDP. RAM said the fallout from the virus could shave 0.2 to 0.5 percentage points off its GDP growth projection for 2020. That said, the potential support from monetary and fiscal policies will play an integral role in sustaining growth momentum. Expedient rollout of projects as well as accommodative credit conditions are critical to driving growth this year amid such highly uncertain conditions. The Indonesian government is formulating incentives for tourism industry stakeholders, such as hotels and airlines, to counter the negative impact of COVID-19. Its Finance Minister, Sri Mulyani Indrawati, said these measures include subsidies to airlines in order to promote domestic tourism and increasing public spending. The proposed incentives are still being studied by the Finance Ministry, Transportation Ministry and Tourism and Creative Economy Ministry at the request of President Joko Widodo. Transportation Minister Budi Karya Sumadi said the number of tourists to Bali, Bintan and Manado, 3 tourism destinations in Indonesia, have dropped substantially after the government imposed a ban on flights to and from China. Tourism and Creative Economy Minister Wishnutama Kusabandio previously estimated that Indonesia could lose $4 billion if flights from China are closed for a year. That's all the time we have for Bizworld. I'm Arif Subhan. Thank you for investing your time with us.